Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the law of attraction, manifesting success stories show comes in. If you are ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello, and welcome to this interview. I am back with the amazing Kate of K8 for Wellness for her 16th interview. I know. I was like, wait, that's not high enough.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi. And I'm just going to let everyone know it's March 24th, 2020. We are doing this. So it's super fun. What's awesome? We had to start. I'm just going to tell people the first thing that's awesome is like Kate started telling, I'm like, hold on, we just need to hit record. Otherwise you're going to tell me all you're awesome the whole time. And then we'll be like, oh, we should record.
Right? But I didn't get to hear you're awesome. That's the downside to doing that, but that's okay. I'll get that after.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
That's so awesome. Okay. What's awesome? So first off, there's a lot of awesome. So first off, I was able to get a contract for marketing that was not serving me. I was able to get out of 16 months earlier than what I was supposed to. So I was able to terminate the contract there. So I was able to save $6,160, which I was really excited about. And today I got to stay home because I get to make my own schedule, even with the people that I'm contracting with. I was able to stay home. That's and awesome. I took it upon myself to check in with some of the loans that I had to see if I could get, some I don't know the exact word I'm looking for, but just to be able to get some relief.
Support.
Support. Thank you.
Yeah.
For the next 3 months. And I was able to get that with all of the 3 loans. And I was able to save $9,509 for 3 months on all of them.
That is amazing.
But here's the fun part is when I was doing that, I had a client sign up with me.
Of course you did.
Oh my gosh, it was so awesome. So yeah, so I have a new total if you want.
Yes, of course.
Okay, here we go. It's $212,863.52.
Yay! That is awesome.
That feels so good to say. I'm super excited.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing. Because I'm like, what was your? Oh, yeah. It's like your last total was $195,105.90 2 months ago. Amazing.
Yes. Right? That's so awesome.
Yeah. How does it feel?
Oh, super exciting. I love focusing on all of the good stuff anyway, but I'm feeling we need to more now, more so than ever. And there's all good that's going on. No matter how I look at it, it's all good.
Yes. That's awesome.
So it feels amazing. And I think for me, which will be interesting because I would love to talk about this with you. So a year ago, we know the situation of, things that started happening after David had bought his car, all that stuff started happening. Yeah. David just bought another car.
Yes.
So I'm seeing a pattern here, right? So David just bought another car and now there's financial craziness.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh, what's the lesson? And we're in so much of a better space to talk about it together. I said, you know what? So you know what I noticed? Do you remember when you bought your car with the $10,000 that you manifested?
Yes, I remember that.
And what happened with him and I energetically. And then it's not always about the money. There's always something deeper than the money, but the money is what surfaces first, right?
Exactly. It's that because it is energy. So it picks up and it's like that obvious reflection of the energy because it just, it's like where energy has see me, right? That's how I think about it.
I love that. Yeah. And that's definitely a great description of that. And then it happened again. He has been hitting record months left and right. And he's been doing amazing. He's been crushing he's like, I want to get this many patients. And he is such an amazing manifester. I know I get it from him too. I get to learn from him, and it's all evidence for me. And he has been like hitting them like left and right. And he's not doing any advertising. He just says it, and these patients start calling. It's just awesome. I just love it. And I use it. I have it all. I have my evidence book. It's just like full of all this evidence of his practice.
Yes.
And it's just so awesome. And then he buys this beautiful car. And this is like his dream car. And then he has a lady that works for him as CA, and their goal was, if they hit this goal, we're going to go to the Mount Washington Resort for an evening. He's going to buy us dinner. We get to sit on the porch overlooking Mount Washington and have like this elegant, weekend with them. So he booked it, and then all this stuff started happening with the economy. And I said to him, last time my energy in that was panic and fear. This time I'm in a different space. Like, I don't feel that fear. And I said to him, I was like, you know what? I'm in a different space now. Like, I feel like I have control. I don't feel helpless. And not that I was helpless last time. And that's probably not the word to use. I don't know why that's coming to mind, but
we can come back to that. I don't want to interrupt you, but yeah, I get it. I think it's like we don't see it until like we're out of it. And then we're like, oh, I did feel helpless. But when we say it now, we're like, but that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like, I didn't know I felt helpless, but it's like, but when we look, that's what I think it is.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think in this time, what is so amazing is that David isn't surrounded by employees that are panicking. So he's able to stay above with that vibration. And so am I, because I'm not surrounded by people that are frantic either.
Right.
So I feel that that's a big part of it, because where I was a year ago, I was in a situation where I was surrounded by a lot of other people's energy and vibration, and there was a lot of stuff going on there. I'm no longer surrounded by that. So now I'm able to stay in my own lane. And it's just so empowering. It feels so good. And I'm like, I get up and nothing's changed. I still do all my routines. And it's not out of panic or fear. It's because I love to do it. And that's what I promised myself I would do. Yeah.
That's amazing. And so I just want to make sure we finish. So were you sharing with like sort of where David is in this energy, so that it's like, you're like, I can see it now and I can stay out of it?
Yes, absolutely. And the fact that I was able to even approach him and say, hey, I see similarities here. Like, what can we do differently? And he even said it. He's like, we're in a better place now that I'm not stressed out about it. And he's like, we're good. He's like, we have this cushion, we have this, we have that. It's just amazing. And for me to do what I did today when I stayed home, it wasn't out of fear. It was just to get some relief, which I was like, hey, if it's there, great. If it's not, okay, we are okay. If they don't accept it. So I was like, well, if they're not adding on interest and they're just tagging it on to the end, why not take advantage of that?
Right.
Especially this time, so I did. And I was okay for them to say, no, you can't do that. And I was very thankful and very excited that I was able to get some relief for the next 3 months. I was like, let's do it.
Right? Because at its worst, like, you need it. And at its best, it's just a cushion that adds to the safety feeling.
Well, And you know what else I noticed? I was actually in the shower this morning, and I said, you know what? What was really great about that was, a year ago, I wasn't in tune to my bills and my ledger and all that stuff, and I don't like calling them bills, but my investments. And I am now, because I do them every week, and I have them written down on a piece of paper, what I get each month, and then what I make yearly. I have it all written down. And for me, it's better. I used to have it on a spreadsheet, and I was so disconnected even from I was more connected than when we first started working together. But I was still a little disconnected. I would like not look at it.
Yeah, right.
And which is why, I stopped working with you for a little while because of the finances, right? You were like, why was I not aware of this? Why did you not bring it up? Well, since I was still ignoring it.
Right? Oh, don't worry. It's just because I wasn't looking at it either.
So it was just really funny. Like all this stuff was coming to me these past couple of days. I was like, because I'm more in tune with, I pay my bills once a week instead of once a month now. I'm so in tune to that, and it feels good that I do that. And when I have a bill that I cannot, or an investment I can't pay at that moment, I ask for help. I'm like, hey, and it's a less of a blow for David to help me.
Right.
Versus at the end of the month when he pays me $2,000 to cover my, investments. And now it's just like, I think since last December, I've only asked for help once, like $200. And he's like, really, that's it?
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's
so
amazing.
It is amazing. It's like totally a different shift in energy around it. And I feel much better about it. And I don't feel, there was like a bad feeling behind asking for help before.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't feel that. And being aware of it for me to be able to say, you know what, I can cover it. No big deal. Because I know what's coming in. I know what I have there. And if they grant me the 3 months of relief, great. If they don't, I'm covered. No big deal.
Right.
So it felt really
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so proud of you. Like, this
Thank
is like,
you.
oh.
I'm proud of me.
Yay. That's what matters most. Oh,
Yes. I'm super excited about that. Yeah.
It's huge on so many levels, right? Like that, that you can take it step by step instead of letting it get to that place, which now looking back is totally right. Like leaving it till the end of the month was like a way to stay in survival because things were getting better. And it was that way to keep that. And that's just, it's all part of the process. And it's so fun when the process, like when you make that shift, right? Like growing and getting better is fun. And this is a whole new level, right?
Whole new level. And I want to say what else is new and good is that I'm back in the Enchanted Circle, which is amazing.
It is amazing.
It feels so different. And what's even amazing about it is I almost feel like it's not that I don't know my future self. I do. I just need to get to know her again. And that is super exciting. I can't wait for that to happen.
Me too. Yeah.
I just know that I've grown leaps and bounds and things are different now. And so I'm excited to start over and learn again. And I've even said to myself since signing up, I'm not scripting right now. I'm just going through all the steps to start over.
I love that. And I can feel it. And you know what? I had a moment the other day where I was like, I wonder if I should tell Kate. She could do more than one of these a day. I mean, it's in there, right? But I was like, she could go faster. And I'm like, no, she can do it. Like, she's like, she knows that. She has to know that. And like,
I do.
And going at this, because I remember the first time when you joined the Enchanted Circle, it was like, let me do 100 assignments in one day. And I was like, hold on. Stop.
It is so true. Oh my gosh. And it's funny that I didn't have that urgency to do that this time, which I'm excited about too.
Me too.
This is going to be an awesome experience. It was awesome. The year and a half that I did it, it's going to be awesome this time around too. So super excited to see how it unfolds.
Oh, me too. I was in that moment. I was like, I knew it. And there was I had that scene. I was like, oh yeah, this is like Kate 2.0 doing this. This is going to be like, that was awesome. And this is going to be even more awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And to be around that energy again is just, to me, which is why I believe a lot of this stuff is coming around, and all the stuff that's coming to me is because of that energy again, being in that group. So I'm just so stoked. I get goosebumps just thinking about it.
Me too.
So I can't wait to see how this unfolds this time, and just starting from scratch, like where I am now, and that is just going to be awesome. And it's great because you taught me with the how. I have to laugh about that because it was so subtle. Like,
yeah, and then when you said
it, and then when you said it, I was like, oh gosh, she's right. It didn't take long for me to figure it out after you said that. I was like, normally in the past I'd be like, no. And then this one was like, oh yeah, that was totally that.
Oh, yeah. It is great. I love that.
Glad to be back. Yeah.
Me too. What would you, I don't even know what my question is, but I want you to speak, because I think there's this myth out there, and I'm all about turning any myths or what people think on their head so they can actually learn, because those are the things that keep us, right? Yep. So coming in and starting fresh, blank, like from your current set, like you did all of that. Like, well, some is new, right? But like, you've done it, you've known it, you've practiced it. Like, what is the value? What's the magic? I think this I'll ask it in being able to come and just like, you're such a sponge, like, and it's so beautiful, and I know where it's going to lead. And so I just want to hear your experience so far. Like, what does it feel like to come and just be like, it's okay to be where I am?
Yeah, what I love about it this time around, I mean, like the last time too, but this time it's deeper. It's just another level. And I honestly feel that a year ago or last June when I went to Arizona, I wasn't that far away from that person that was there. And I actually, how do I want to say that? There was some growth that needed to happen there, but I kind of didn't let it happen. I was kind of afraid of that, right?
Yeah.
And now I feel that everything that I was scripting and everything that I was talking about has already happened pretty much. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't project that far in the future. You know, I needed to project further. So to do that, I need to go deeper. And I don't think I went deep enough the first time. And it's not that, I mean, I think it was perfect how it happened.
Absolutely.
And it helped me, you know, really get to know myself too. And I did a lot of healing in the process. And I think even this little hiatus I had to take, I was still doing the work, but I think I needed to do that too.
Yes.
You know, and I think that all of this is happening just as it should. So I think that prepared me to get ready for this, to be able to dig deeper and just to do it on another level. So I feel that that's the magic in doing it this way and the way that it unraveled. I mean, that was my journey. That's the journey that I had to go on. It's not going to happen for everybody, but that's what I needed.
Yeah.
So I think that is amazing. I mean, the fact that I was still able to do this stuff in the interim helped me to still grow. Probably not as fast as if I had you, but that's okay. I mean, like I said, that was part of the journey. Yeah. So I'm happy to be back because of I needed to be here to do this again. And I think there's something that and I won't know until it happens. I'm like, oh, this is why I had to start over. This is why. And I won't see it now, but as it's unfolding, I will. And that's what I'm excited to see, is how that's going to unfold and what that realization is going to be. I don't know if that's making sense, because it's kind of general. It's like it's a broad.
No, it totally makes sense. You will see. And what you've learned, and what I want to point out to those is like, this is a higher level manifesting conversation, is what I put. Like, when you can have that trust and that, okay, I'm going to be here because, and I know, like, I don't have to look for it anymore. I don't have to figure out, why am I here at this moment? It's like, no, I just have to take the next step and the next step, and I will see very clearly. And to be excited versus upset or anxious or wanting it to happen faster when that moment comes is like, that's it. This is higher level manifesting.
Yeah. It's so funny, because I remember when I left the Enchanted Circle, I was trying so hard to find a way to get back in, and I was just getting to the meat and potatoes of stuff that I wanted to get into. And I couldn't find a way to I wasn't able to see a way, is the best way to say that, right? I wasn't open to seeing it. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to get back in. I'm going to start right there. I'm going to do, that was me, 6 months ago. And when I signed up, I was like, oh, I want to start from the beginning. I want to start over. And it wasn't like I needed to go where I left off.
Yes.
And I mean, granted, you wanted me to start with these first exercises anyway, but I was okay with that. I didn't say like, oh, but I want to go where I left off.
Right?
That never crossed my mind. So that lets me know that, I definitely needed this. And that was, I don't think I was ready to see what was coming next. I wasn't the person that was ready for that next growth. I needed to be this person in this space right here. And so, yeah, I'm so, it's interesting on so many different levels. When I look at it that way, I'm like, oh, it could get really deep. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it unravels, without a doubt. It's going to be magical, as you say, definitely.
Yes. And I love that, because I've always been this, but it's coming more and more where like, I want to like doing the same thing, or do it like, it doesn't have to be different to get you a different result, like coming back to the basics and starting. So I love that you're sharing that, because it's one of my missions to share with the world, is that it's not go seek, go seek, go seek. It's do it, like keep doing it, do the same thing, and allow the evolution to occur instead of trying to find all these different things to make it happen.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Because it is all about the depth, and you can have depth in anything, right? It doesn't have to be complex, and it can be a simple assignment about, and you can see like, oh yeah, I was controlling the how, right? It can just be a simple assignment. Like, how are you going to act as if in this, right? Like, and you can see where, and like at the deep place that you're at is where we can start to see, because this is where the little adjustments make a big difference,
Yes.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can. And only just in the couple of exercises that I've done, and the one that I'm working on right now with the question that you keep asking me to dig a little deeper, it's not as, or I don't have to go as deep as I was going.
Yeah.
So, excuse me. So I think that just even at that level, it's just a whole new person that I'm learning, but it's deeper. So it's hard to put that into words, but it feels different. It totally feels different, without a doubt. And I think even putting the scripting on hold felt right. And I love doing my scripting, and it's interesting that I'm okay with not doing it. Like before, I think it was a fear of not doing it. In the past. And then, but these last 6 months, I don't feel that was the reason why. I believe before that it was. These last 6 months did it because it felt good. It didn't feel forced. And I did it for a minute here, 20 minutes there. I even scheduled a 2-hour session at one point to do it. It was organic, which was great. And this felt organic too. Like, oh, it's okay if I don't script right now, because it's going to happen. It's coming. I'm going to learn my future self. And it's not like a fear, like, oh gosh, if I don't do this, it's not going to happen.
Right. Which is weird. Like so much magic is, right? Like because I want to, instead of because I'm afraid if I don't.
Exactly.
I want to talk a little bit about just sort of your evolution and nutrition and taking care of your body, and how, like, I don't actually know all the answers to this. So I'd love to hear, how has that paralleled or woven into this journey of becoming your future self, and like of these 6 months, and just, where I'm going, right?
Yeah, I do. There's just so much to that too. How much time do we have? I believe for me, this is something that I feel has been a spiritual journey for me all along, since I started 7 years ago. When I started doing nutrition, I started learning about manifesting, and I know that they go hand in hand big time. For me, they do. And because it feeds my soul. They both feed my soul. And they both even portray how I am in my business too. Because I teach my clients to put them first, do the self-love stuff. And that's different for everybody. But that my self-love is working out, is eating healthy. And that in of itself helps me to understand and to know that I am enough. And that's what it comes down to for me, is I am enough. And it's that old story. And I feel so good talking about it because I have healed from that. And it's the one that I've always been told I'm never going to amount to anything from some adults. And here I am, that controlled my whole life. Everything I did, it controlled that.
It even, in a lot of, until I remember the moment, and this was the workshop right before sort of this big leap into your future self, I was like, oh, here we go, because that story finally got left out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that I think was scary because that was always an identity for me, and it was always something to fall back on. Since that story has been let go, I have healed leaps and bounds with my body. And I have achieved all the goals with my body that I want to, but that also plays into my manifesting too. Manifesting, I mean, I've always scripted about having a muscular body and, being fit and all of that. So it's interesting how I feel that it's just all connected. For me, it's all connected. And having that, I think, I can't remember if it was before we started doing these interviews, when you and I were talking, I always said I can never have everything to be the same in my life, or I'll be happy, or I'll be going good. It was in the
middle. Yeah.
And so now I can honestly say that everything is good. My relationship, my health, my business, my manifesting, my spiritual journey is, as I like to call it, because I feel that it's more spiritual for me when I do my manifesting. Because it touches me on the deeper soul level. So I feel that they all go hand in hand for me. And if one is lacking, the other one's lacking. If I'm not where I need to be with my manifesting, it shows in my self-love stuff too. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's almost like I don't like using that word punish myself, but it's like I'm not worthy enough to feel good. And so working out makes me feel good. Scripting makes me feel good. So I'm not worthy enough. And so I feel that has totally, I've progressed from that since that workshop that you were talking about. And that was scary that I didn't have that to fall back on anymore. And because that was always a crutch.
Right.
Oh, but I don't need to do that because I'm not good enough for that. I'm not enough for that. I don't deserve that. And I don't have that bad talk anymore, which is great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so they're just all blossoming, and I love it. And I've loved watching, cause you post a lot of workouts on Instagram, and I just like to see what you're doing. So when it comes, I don't follow, there's not many people that I follow. So
I feel privileged. Thank you.
You should. Yeah. So I get to see the people that I really want to see. Right. And, just seeing you and watching that, I was like, oh, this is awesome, because what anyone from the outside would think is, and there's no shoulds, but I'm going to use should. They would think, well, she should have already had, she worked, knowing who you were in terms of nutrition, and that working out was so important, and that you were committed to it. You would have thought the body would have been automatic. And what's interesting is it was a year or so, I don't know, about a year ago, maybe 9 months ago, there was you even made this commitment, okay, I want to do it, and so it doesn't hurt my body, and I want to do it in a way that feels really good to me. And so of course they're all tied together, right? Because we believe when we believe our business is possible, we can believe our body's possible. When we believe, I can do this, and I totally get the, when you don't do one thing, you don't do the rest, right? Because doing any one of them says I'm worthy, so I go do the rest because I'm worthy, right?
Yep, exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's just been so cool to see this, which I've always known, but I got to watch it, the proof of it doesn't, it is your mind. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it is
sure
you
is.
get led, right? Even nutrition, even this it's what happens. And so it was just so much fun to watch that unfold for you and see that. It's so cool.
It's so fun to look back now and and noticed that too. Cause that is definitely, David and I had that discussion, he's like, you had it all along. He's like, you just needed to realize it. And I was like, yeah, okay. But he's right, and it's funny because he always says, he goes, you have to come up with that realization. I could tell you that in many different ways and you wouldn't believe it. He's like, you have to come to that realization. And I was like, yeah, and it's right. I was able to, and I'm so glad that I was able to, because it healed me on so many levels, which was great.
Yeah. And healed you and got you exactly what you wanted.
Exactly.
That's my favorite part. I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Well, what's really cool is, I didn't even share this with you. Someone that's a really good friend of mine that follows me, saw a picture of me. She goes, ooh, competition ready. She had no idea that I wanted to compete. And then obviously I changed my mind because how unhealthy it was, but
right.
she was a competitor. And so she goes, ooh, basically a body that can compete. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's my evidence right there. It happened.
It totally happened while being good to your body and doing what feels good.
Yeah, it was so awesome. So awesome. And I just love it. Like, someone texted me the other day, who's a good friend. He goes, I just love your posts. They're so positive. And, and I said to him, I was like, I love my life. I'm grateful for my health. I love what I'm doing. And, I started saying all that. And he wrote back, he goes, having it's one thing, but sharing it's another. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I was just sharing the positiveness and that, it feels good that people are noticing, because before, I would only focus on the good stuff, but I do have a lot of good stuff going on. And it's kind of like the podcast that you had just come out about being, just sharing what is positive. Why not focus on that? But now it's genuine, like all around happiness. Yeah. So and people are feeling it, which is great.
Yeah. Which they totally feel it. And it's the best marketing, right? Because just doing leg day because you love leg day, instead of you're forcing yourself to do leg day for something else, because a totally different energy. And that's something that you can't fake, and you can't, it's going to be seen no matter what the picture looks like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. I had another question for you that is escaping me right now. Any other awesome or ahas that you want to make sure, or things on your heart you want to talk about today?
I think that those are the big ones. I haven't, nothing's coming to mind as far as that goes, but there's a lot of awesome going on. I'm just so excited. And it feels good. It feels really good. Yeah.
Yay. What are you most excited about in the next 6 months?
Oh, I would have to say that the growth that I'm going to go through and how that is going to play out in all areas of my life. Because like I said, it's all connected, and I'm just excited to see the new me. And I can't wait for that. I can't wait to meet her.
Me too. Oh, yay. So awesome. Very cool. Well, tell people how they can connect with you.
People can connect with me on Facebook and Instagram under K8 for Wellness. And that's the letter K, the number 8, the number 4, Wellness. And then I also have a podcast, which is the K8 for Wellness podcast, spelled the same way. And then my website is k8forwellness.com. And I have a bunch of programs on there. I've actually put pricing up now. I have it out in the open. I feel comfortable about that. So, and then I also have challenges on there. So if anyone's interested in getting a glimpse of what it's like to work with me, they can sign up for a challenge before they do that. So
I love it. And Instagram is the same?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
awesome. Just since we talked about it, I want to make sure.
It is the same.
We tell everybody how to check out leg day.
Yes, right. Go check out leg day.
Yes.
Hashtag leg day.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing this moment in your journey
Thank
with
you,
us.
Cassie. I love what you do. And thank you so much for sharing our journeys with everyone.
My pleasure. I am so excited for this next chapter. It's going to be amazing.
Me too. It is going to be amazing.
Thank you all for listening, and make sure to come back and check out Kate's next interview to find out what else is awesome.
Thank you for joining us on the Law of Attraction Manifesting Success Stories show. To learn how to attract more money into your life, go to your favorite book retailer and order Cassie's book, Manifest $10,000.